There's a country hidden between Europe and Asia that most people know almost nothing about. A country that invented wine 8,000 years ago, has mountains higher than many peaks in the Alps, and traditions that have survived empires, wars, and centuries of change. But Georgia isn't just about stunning landscapes. What is life really like in Georgia? Why do so many travelers talk about the beauty of Tbilisi and its people? And what is the dark side of this country that most tourists never see? And right now, in 2026, roughly 20% of it is under Russian military occupation. This is Georgia, a place where Europe meets Asia, ancient traditions meet modern freedom, and every corner tells a different story. And by the end of this documentary, you'll know the real Georgia, and whether it's truly safe to travel here in 2026. Georgia is small, about the size of South Carolina, but it packs more into that space than most countries 10 times its size. To the north, the greater Caucasus Mountains, taller and wilder than the Alps. To the west, the Black Sea. To the south, Turkey and Armenia. And pressing hard from the north, Russia. You can start your morning on a subtropical beach, drive 3 hours, and be standing next to a glacier. One country, almost every climate on Earth. Here's the thing about Georgia's geography that most people miss. It's not just beautiful, it's strategic. Every empire that ever wanted to move between Europe and Asia had to deal with this land. The Persians, the Romans, the Mongols, the Ottomans, the Russians. Georgia has been fought over for thousands of years because of exactly where it sits on the map. And sitting in the middle of all of it, Tbilisi, one of the most underrated cities you've never visited. Tbilisi is 1,500 years old, and it does not feel like it's trying to impress you. It just is. The old city is a maze of wooden balconies hanging over cobblestone streets. Persian-style architecture on one corner, Soviet concrete on the next. A 6th century church beside a modern glass bridge. One street looks like Paris. The next looks like Persia. All of it somehow working together. But here's what nobody tells you about Tbilisi. The city is literally built on top of hot sulfur springs. Natural thermal water bubbling up from the ground beneath your feet. That's actually where the name comes from. Tbilisi means warm place in Old Georgian. Legend says a 5th century king was hunting when his falcon chased a pheasant into a hot spring, and both birds came out cooked. He liked the spot so much he built his capital there. That story might be myth. The springs are very real. The Abano-Tabani bath district has been running for over 1,000 years. Domed brick bathhouses sitting directly over natural thermal pools. The water smells like sulfur. It's hot. It's mineral-rich. And soaking in it after a day walking this city is extraordinary. These aren't tourist spas. They're working bathhouses locals have used for generations. Some cost almost nothing to enter. The food markets are pure chaos in the best way. Churchkela, walnuts dipped in grape juice and dried into candy strings, hanging in every stall like edible jewelry. Freshly baked bread pulled from a clay oven called a tone. The smell alone will stop you cold. But here's what makes Tbilisi truly different. The people. Specifically the women. Georgian women run businesses, lead protests, host 3-hour feasts, and do it all with a confidence that feels completely earned. The grandmother selling homemade wine at the market has been doing that for 40 years. Her grandmother did it before her. And if you've ever visited Georgia, tell us in the comments, what surprised you most about the people here? Tbilisi has style. It has grit. It has 1,500 years of history on every corner. And when the sun goes down, it becomes a completely different city. Here's something nobody tells you about Tbilisi. It has one of the most electric nightlife scenes in all of Europe. Not nightclubs in the Vegas sense. Something raw, more real. The most famous club in the country, Bashiani, is built inside an old Soviet-era swimming pool underneath a football stadium. It runs from Friday night straight through Sunday morning. No windows. No phones on the dance floor. Just music and people who take their freedom very seriously. Tbilisi's nightlife isn't about forgetting the world. It's about refusing to let the world forget you exist. Have you ever seen a nightclub become part of a political movement? Drop it in the comments. And to understand why freedom matters this much here, you have to understand where Georgia came from, strangers and calling them gifts from God. There's something in that worth paying attention to. If this opened your eyes, share it. Because Georgia's story deserves to be heard.